What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a review of the New Year's unit. This banner comes out on 1st January 2020, but the details and the stats and everything of these units were included in the Legendary Select update. Just like last year, we get to know about these New Year's units in advance, so that's pretty good. And I want to thank ShailorMercury for this layout, and all of the other sources are going to be linked in the description as well. So let us begin with this, and the first unit we have is Anna. Anna finally got her ult, she broke the curse, and she is a red bow infantry archer. She is no green offensively, but she still has her niche. Being red bow is not really all that good defensively because you're gonna get blown up by Ophelia and Reinhardt and stuff like that. Her weapon is Fortune Bow Plus. It's kind of the trend of this year's New Year banner, where you have this dual sabotage skill built into it. And she also has sabotage attack in her base kit, so she can debuff 3 stats at the same time, and that's really good for a supportive role. So basically, for her build, you want to run something like Fury or anything that can increase her visible resistance so that she can like sabotage more with her weapon. And she can also be used offensively. She is really fast at base 40 speed, and she also has a speed super boon, so at base she can reach 44 speed with that speed boon, and that is just incredible. She also has high 37 resistance, which is really good with her weapon and with a sabotage skill, so she can also work as a mage tank. But as I said before, because of red color, she is going to be facing problems from blue units. Now, when she's going to be a bonus unit in Ether raids in the light season, she could reach really high visible resistance, and at that point, she could definitely tank some blue units. But outside of that, it's gonna be hard for her because Ophelia and Reinhardt are 2 of the most popular blue mages, which are really common. She also has pretty decent attack at 34. Thank God it's not like her original version, otherwise that would have been a disaster. But it's kind of hard to mess up this kind of high BST unit. I mean, high BST now, but this is basically Gen 1 armor BST. So overall, she can function as an offensive unit, but in that regard, she kind of gets beaten down by green. She can also function defensively due to her high resistance, and also as a support unit thanks to her weapon and sabotage attack. So that's Anna, the second red bow archer that we have got in a quick succession after green, and her art is absolutely amazing. I really like it a lot. The next unit is a new duo unit in Duo Alfonse and Sharena. So they are blue mage infantry units, and their duo skill grants -2 special cooldown to Duo Alfonse, and also infantry allies within 3 rows and 3 columns centered on Alfonse. So this is really great for Gale Force strats, but the problem is that because of being a mage and because of being a range unit, they cannot inherit Gale Force themselves. So there, they cannot really fully use the capability of this kind of skill. You could pair them up with other Gale Force units, and in Ether Raid's offense with the offensive duo structure, you could use the skill multiple times to charge up a special, so that could definitely be done, but it's only for infantry allies, that's it. So it's really restrictive. And once again, I'm going to be saying that I still think that Duo Hector's effect is still the best one yet. Now this duo skill is not bad at all, it's really good, but its restrictiveness to only infantry allies is what turns me off from this kind of support skill. And they have a preferred weapon called Imbued Coma, which has got -1 special cooldown, and if their special is ready, then they get +5 to all of their stats during the combat, and the foe cannot make a follow-up attack. So the second part of this is really good because Duo Alfonse is incredibly slow at base 17 speed, so he's gonna get doubled by everyone, so he kind of needs this kind of effect. But still, he is so slow that even with this effect, if he loses speed check against any kind of mediocre speed unit who has got quick riposte or vengeful fighter, they're still going to be able to double Alfonse. So that's definitely something you have to keep in mind. Their special is Open the Future. This is an exclusive special. As you could see, it says it's only able to be equipped on the original unit. And this is basically the combination of Bonfire and Noontime. Not exactly Noontime, because Noontime is 30% healing, and this special gives you 25% healing, but still, you get the point. So you're able to provide some really good damage output because of Alfonse's high defense, and he is able to reach 40 defense with his weapon. So you're getting 20 damage right off the bat from that Bonfire and a bit of healing. The healing is not going to be too much, but still, it's good for the longevity. And as for their base kit, they have got Close Counter, Special Spiral, and Defense Rest Oath. Close counter is really good because Duo Alfonse is the defensive mage with 35 defense and 30 resistance, so really min-max in that regard. Special Spiral does have good synergy with Open the Future and also their duo skill. Alfonse is basically able to activate his own Special Spiral and his weapon, which is pretty incredible. And Defense Res Oath is nice for making them a bit more defensive. And their base stats are really min-max for a mage. I'm actually glad that they are infantry mage duo unit and they're not armored, because they do not have the armor weakness and they are not really having bad mobility with that one movement. But then again, they miss out on some skills like Special Fighter and stuff like that. But still, I think it's an okay trade-off. Being an infantry unit is a bit better, especially when you're this min-max personally. So high attack at base 38, really low speed at 17, and high defense at 35, and pretty workable resistance at 30. Duo Alfonse is definitely the best defensive infantry mage in the game with that balanced defensive spread at 35 defense and 30 resistance, and also their weapon, their duo skill, and their own special. So overall, a really solid unit. The Duo Alfonse also has a super boon in attack, defense, and speed. Speed is really weird to have a super boon in, and also super bane in HP and resistance. So you definitely do not want to get that kind of super bane because it hinders their defensive capability. They also have pretty good fodder and Special Spiral and close counters, so this is just perfect if you're trying to build up a Kronia, because you could fodder off both of these skills to her. But yeah, overall solid unit. The next unit we have is Lethe or Lethe. I don't know, whichever way I pronounce, I know I'm gonna get bullied in comments, so it doesn't even matter. So she is a Green Beast Cavalry unit. She has got Guardian Fang as her weapon, which has got nice 2 paragraphs. It gives her +3 speed, and this weapon has got 2 primary effects. The first effect is similar to Carla's Vassal's Blade, where you get true damage based off on your speed, and you can get maximum up to 7 true damage, which is pretty good. Naysala also has this kind of weapon, and the second effect of this weapon is that she has got Close Call built into her weapon, which is really great because cavalry units cannot inherit Close Call. And the second paragraph has got the standard beast transformation effect, where if they have no human near them, then they can transform and they get +2 attack and a mini sturdy impact effect. So this weapon is really incredible because it plays off her speed, and she can be deceptively bulky because of this weapon. She already has 41 base speed. With the +3 from her weapon, she at base has 44 speed, and with attack speed solo, she has got 50 speed unboosted all alone. And that is incredible. She also has a super boon in speed, so she can reach 54 speed just like that. It's kind of ridiculous how fast some of these units are, honestly. So she is able to utilize her blazing high speed offensively by getting true damage, and also defensively by using the close call built into her weapon, by reducing the damage from attacks during the combat, and by also reducing damage from area and effect specials like from Ophelia. Her green color is definitely pretty good in that regard. And this is just really great because she's so fast that she just needs 10 extra speed than the foe to have the maximum damage reduction, which is 40%. And that's not really all that hard to do when she is already so fast, and also the fact that she has got lull speed defense, so she will just ignore any kind of speed buff which the enemy has got. So overall, a pretty strong unit. She can be used in various kinds of content. She is going to be able to mitigate a lot of damage because of her speed and also get more damage. And she can be used as a super tank in ether raids because of her green color and because of the fact that she's got close call built into her weapon. But the thing is that she cannot really inherit null counter disrupt to her slot B skill, and she also has really low defense, so if you're gonna be using her, then Light Season is probably the way to go. She also has a super bane in her defense and resistance, making her even more frail, but still you do have the close call built into her weapon. And then we have got Selkie, who is a colorless cavalry BC net, so really unique in that regard. Colorless is great for defensive purpose. She once again has nice 2 paragraphs on her weapon. So the first effect is giving her -1 special cooldown, which means that she has got 2-turn Iceberg. The primary effect of this weapon is similar to Lethe actually, but it just calculates those things based off on the resistance instead of calculating based off on the speed like Lethe. So she's able to get true damage based on her resistance, and she's able to have a resistance version of close call basically. And the second effect is the cavalry beast effect, which is standard. And she also comes with a new skill called Distant Ward. So this is basically a conditional distant counter against mages and staff units, and against dragons as well. I mean, you don't really need to counter attack at range against dragons, but against these kinds of units, you're able to get +5 attack and +5 resistance while also being able to counter attack regardless of foe's range. So a conditional distant counter skill, which makes it so that you can retaliate back to mages and staff units, but you cannot retaliate back to bow units and dagger units, which is not really all that good. And in my opinion, normal distant counter is a bit better than this, because even though you're missing out on +5 attack and resistance, you're still able to retaliate back to dagger units and bow units, who are super common in any kind of game mode. But with Selkie, it kind of does make sense because her defense is really low, so they just want you to retaliate back using her stronger defensive stat. So it's an interesting option nonetheless. But for Selkie, because she's a cavalry unit, she cannot have access to null counter disrupt, and most of the staff units are always going to be having a dazzling refine, so she will not be able to counterattack back to them regardless of this skill. Because of being a colorless unit, she could be used as a super tank in ether raids, but her extremely low defense is going to be really problematic, and she's not going to be able to retaliate back to the Myogi dagger units, Legendary Alm, and other bow units, so that could be a problem. If you want to use her, then Astra Season is the way to go, because at least she's able to have 26 defense with double Naga, but still, her low defense and low HP pool is going to be a problem as a tank, and there are just other really good colorless tanks who are just as premium, someone like Fallen Korin, I guess, but still, a pretty interesting unit to say the least. She has got Sabotage Speed. I would have liked if this was Sabotage Resistance, because it would have got better synergy with her weapon. She's got 40 base resistance, which is really high to make good use of her weapon. She has a super bane in her defense, so you definitely do not want that. She has a super boon in HP, which could be helping her in tanking, and she has got low attack at 31, but once again, she's going to be getting the true damage from her weapon. She gets +5 from her slotty skill, so that's something to consider, and 39 speed is pretty good. And the last unit we have from this batch is New Year's Eir. So I'm really happy. I like Eir a lot. Definitely my favorite OC from Fire Emblem Heroes. So I'm really happy that she got a nice chill alt. And she's also a free unit. Even in this version, she's going to be given out as a Tempest trial reward. I believe the Tempest trial begins on 3rd of January. She's a red dagger flyer, which is a bit disappointing. I would have liked her to be colorless, because she could have been able to be much better than Hot Springs Camilla with her stat spread if she was colorless. And that's probably the reason why they didn't make her colorless, because then you would have like 3 units with pretty similar stat spread like Eir, Hot Springs Camilla, and this new Eir. So not being colorless definitely holds her back. Her weapon is Temari, kind of like that one Naruto character, I guess. This dagger has similar effect as Anna's weapon, but instead of inflicting defense and resistance debuff like Anna's bow, it inflicts -5 attack and speed debuff. So that's really good for support, and does work out with her good resistance, and this does have potential to be used on someone like Tethys, who's a dancer with similar resistance to Eir at base 34. So Tethys, while able to provide dance support, can also provide some really nice utility with this dagger. And Tethys is a 4-star unit, so I know some people are definitely going to be building her up as a merge project, but you will be no better than hell if you do sacrifice Life of Eir, I'm just saying. So her base kit has got Speed Tactic. We finally got Speed Tactic on a Grail unit. It's been 3,000 years, honestly. I hope they can also make this as a Sacred Seal, because Speed Tactic is a 5-star locked skill on Eir. So you will have to spend 20,000 feathers on the 4-star copy of Eir from Tempest Trial to fodder off the Speed Tactic. And she's got Brazen Attack Resistance as her slotted skill, and Shove as her assist skill. I really wish this was repositioned. It would have been perfect, you know, having Speed Tactic and reposition on the same unit. But oh well, we can only dream. So the stat spread of this Eir is pretty similar to the normal version of Eir, but of course she doesn't have Lithia Perk, Mystic Boost, Sparkling Boost, or any of those things, which makes normal Eir such a good unit. And speaking of normal Eir, if you do use double Eir in the light season of Ether Raids, you could fodder off Temari Plus to her, so that you could have another support option on your Eir, so that could be done. But yeah, as a unit, she does have low attack stat at 31. She does have good speed at 36 and good resistance at 34, and that is basically it. Once again, if she was colorless, then it would have been better, and if they had to make her a color dagger, then green would have been better. But then again, we just got Winter Jafar, who's a green dagger unit, so I guess that's why they made her into a red dagger unit. but nonetheless she is still a pretty decent unit, and she does provide Temari Plus, a pretty good support dagger, and Speed Tactic as fodder. And that's basically the units for this batch. And then we have the Tempest trial here. So I want to thank Zanuck and Kaz Kirikiri for this Tempest trial layout. Their link is going to be in the description. So the bonus units are not really all that good. The only free-to-play unit you have is Year Eir, and that's pretty much it. And the big news is Swift Sparrow. So as I made a video about this a few days ago, so Swift Sparrow was present on a Tactic Drills enemy before time. So a lot of people did speculate, including me, that we're going to be getting Swift Sparrow as a secret seal. And that is indeed true. We're getting that, which is pretty crazy. And HP Defense 2 as the other notable secret seal, and Speed Feint, which is not really all that good. So that's basically the Tempest trial, which is going to be happening in January, where Eir is going to be a free unit, and that is going to be the batch. Now, as for the New Year's banner, like for most of the seasonal banners, you either pull for these units if you really like them, if you really like their outfit, or you're just attached to these units, or you just pull for them as their one-off copy if they can be used in that regard. Case in point being someone like Summer Micaiah, who's still really good just on merge. Same goes for Alphonse, but even as a one-off copy, Alphonse can function as a decent defensive mage, and the duo skill can be something depending on which kind of units you usually use. If you use a lot of infantry units who would appreciate this kind of duo skill, then Duo Alphonse is worth it for you. But yeah, as I said, usually with these seasonal units, it depends on those two factors if you want to pull or not. So yeah, really happy that finally Anna got the alt, and I'm really happy that Eir got an alt, because Eir is always so sad, but I mean, even in this version she's kind of sad. At least she's happy in her sprite. So yeah, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then please be sure to leave a like. It is going to be helping me tremendously. And if you haven't already, then make sure to subscribe for more Fire Emblem Heroes content, and also Three Houses content. I'm doing the Black Eagles route. And please be sure to hit the notification bell and click on all so that you can always get the updates to my videos whenever I upload. Because I wish YouTube sub boxes were about as fast as some of these units that we have got this month, who are so incredibly fast. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.